Now, we start with our breaking news story on Bangladesh, where at least 19 people have been killed when an Air Force training jet lost control and crashed into a school compound in Dhaka. Many of the dead are children. A further 100 people are injured, and there's been video circulating of the incident in the northern suburb of Uttara, where you can see a huge fire, thick plumes of smoke as well. And these pictures here are of the aftermath and the rescue effort that started to take place soon after it happened. The military confirming that one of its training planes did indeed crash. Our reporter Shanawaz Rocky is at the scene for us in Dhaka.
So this is the building where the plane has crashed. Behind this building, just 100 meters away from here, nearly 1 o'clock the plane has crashed, and that time most of the students were in the classroom. And I have spoken to one of the eyewitnesses who told me the time when the plane has crashed. That time one of his friends has died and he was in front of him. And what he has saw that hundreds of the primary students were inside the classroom and 10 to 15 guardians were waiting outside, and the plane collapsed on top of them. So he presumed that most of them have died, but the number is not disclosed yet. And there are also a residential building where many students used to live, so their situation is also unknown. The parents and guardians are waiting outside anxiously and waiting. What we have seen at this moment, the ambulance have come in and going out with lots of casualties. There are few hospitals around the sites and they also admitted there. The security forces, Army, Navy and Air Forces, along with the fire service and other security forces, has started the rescue operations. So the site is totally cordoned, people cannot get inside. So the parents and the guardians are waiting outside to know what's happened to their loved one.
Really awful scene there with the parents and families down at the school trying to figure out what's happened and whether or not their children are injured or have survived this. Let's take you to our correspondent Uttara Lamai, who joins us from Mumbai monitoring events. We're keeping across what's happening in Dhaka on the ground, but so many questions here, Yogita. What is the government and the Air Force saying about what happened?
Lucy, we've now heard from a spokesperson for Bangladesh's military services, and they've confirmed that this was a plane, this was a jet from Bangladesh's Air Force. They say it was on a training mission. They've said that it suffered mechanical failure shortly after takeoff. Details of that they will give once an investigation is carried out. They say that the pilot in the aircraft did try to steer the aircraft away to a less densely populated area, but wasn't able to do so in time. And it hit a two-story building in that school campus. They've also said that they've had helicopters in operation there trying to take the injured to hospitals as quickly as possible. We've also heard from the chief of Bangladesh's fire department, who says that the building that was hit, it was a two-story building. It housed classrooms for second and fourth grade students. And he says that lessons had ended, but that students were still there, teachers were still there, and some parents or people who'd come to pick up their kids were also still there. We've also heard from eyewitnesses, one of them saying that they were standing near the gate of the school when they heard this loud explosion, and when they looked, they only saw fire and smoke. Their children had managed to come out, so the parents took the children and rushed away as fast as possible. But the visuals we are seeing are of firefighters struggling to try to control that blaze. They've been using big hoses, shooting jets of water at the blaze, and of course rescue operations still ongoing.
So if they're ongoing, does that mean that we don't know whether everyone has been accounted for yet or not? Are there still potentially parents there who don't know what's happened to their children?
Well, so we've got some numbers from the Bangladesh government, and at the moment it's 19 dead and more than 160 injured. We do not know yet if that is the total that accounts for all of the people who were there. If lessons had just ended, there would have been people, there would have been parents as well who'd come to pick their kids up. So these are details which will emerge over the next few hours. We've seen here in India, when we had that air crash in Ahmedabad, especially when there's been an explosion and a fire, how much time it actually takes to not just know what the death toll is, especially of the people on the ground, but even to identify the bodies of those dead. If they're in a condition where they cannot be identified by looking at them, then there will have to be forensic and DNA tests conducted. We have heard from the leader of Bangladesh's interim government, Muhammad Yunus, who's announced a day of national mourning on Tuesday.
Yeah, a deeply sad day for the country. That National Day of Mourning has just been announced, as Yogita was saying. We'll keep across developments. Thanks so much, Yogita Lamai, joining us.